Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about our personal experience with the leap that we made from being renters to being homeowners. And we're not here to talk about how renting is a waste of money, because I wholeheartedly disagree. If you are not in a position to own a home and to take care of a home and to have a down payment to get a home and everything that goes into getting a home, then your option is to rent. And renting is providing a stable place for you to live and your dependents and family members to live. So I do not feel like renting is a waste of money. Not everybody wants to be a homeowner. Like, I feel like we need to accept that and appreciate that and not condemn people for not being a homeowner, because there are times, I love my house, don't get me wrong, but there are times where I'm like, the money that I could be saving for renting for the amount that we were renting is money that I could be putting towards investing, thereby making the pursuit to FIRE, which is financial independence, retire early, even quicker. So again, not here to knock anybody renting, not here to knock anybody owning, but we're just gonna talk about, for us, for me and my husband, the leap that we made from renting to owning. And we're talking about the financial leap, of course. So if that is of interest to you, then please keep watching. Okay, so we're basically just going to compare the price of renting to the price of owning. How much we were paying for our rent, how much we are now paying for our mortgage, how much we were paying for water when we were renting, how much we're paying for water now that we're owning. That's literally what we're gonna do during this video. And we're just gonna talk about the expenses that we knew that we were going to incur when we moved into this particular home, and even why we made that decision. Because we knew, after plugging in these numbers in the budget over and over again, we knew how much this was going to cost and what we would have to sacrifice technically to be here. And so we're just gonna lay it all out on the table today. So let's just go ahead and talk about our expenses for renting. Our base rent in the apartment where we lived, which was a 2-bedroom apartment, it was about 800 square feet. I wouldn't say that it was in a bad part of town, but it certainly was not in the best part of town. We were not luxury living by any means. So for our base rent, we paid $570. The water, sewer, trash, and property fee was a bundle, and for that bundle we paid $50 per month. Our cable/internet was $110, and we had at the time Comcast and Xfinity, and we couldn't get DirecTV or any type of satellite. So at the time, all that we knew about, we didn't know about all these fancy streaming services, or maybe we didn't really explore them. So at the time, for a bunch of channels and for high-speed internet, we paid $110. Our electricity was $242, and the insulation there was horrible. The place was old, the air had issues, it was always having to be repaired. It was a mess. We live in Georgia, so it was a whole lot. So that was a huge bill that we had living in that apartment, and we pretty much had that, like, I don't know, 8 months out of the year. For our phones, we had AT&T prepaid, and we paid $85. Finally, for renter insurance, we actually paid our premium on a yearly basis, but I took that yearly premium and divided it by 12, and this was the most recent premium. That's the number that I'm going off of, the one that we had before we moved out, and that came out to be $16 for renter insurance. So if you add up all of those, then you will get $1,073, and that at the time was about 10% of our monthly income, 10% of our take-home pay. We didn't have to pay for pest control, we didn't even have to buy a drill or a step ladder, because we could get all the way to the ceiling using a chair or a small stool. We couldn't really drill into the wall, so we didn't have to have any of those expenses either. Just FYI, I'm just throwing those out. That has been a real shocker moving into this home, like having to buy a lawnmower, having to buy a drill, having to buy these other types of things that I'm really not going to talk about in this video, but I feel like that's been a real shocker as we have been embarking on this home ownership journey. So let's go ahead and talk about our expenses for owning. For our mortgage, which includes our principal, it includes interest, it includes property taxes, and it includes insurance, it is $1,501. For water/sewer, which is bundled together, it is $37. For pest control, we pay $46. For cable, which is really a streaming service, it is $35. Otherwise, FYI, our cable would have been pretty much around the same amount as it was when we were renters. For internet, we pay $70, which is also pretty similar to when we were renters. For electricity for the previous month, it was $101. For phones, we have Cricket now, so we pay $80. And for security for our home, we pay $51. If you add up all of that, that is $1,921, which is currently 20% of our monthly income or our take-home pay. So we have basically increased our cost of living by almost $1,000, and now it is taking up about 20% of our income, whereas it used to take up about 10% of our income. For your monthly housing expenses and costs, experts recommend spending about 25 to 35% of your income on your housing expenses. So as you can see, we're still doing good in that area. However, that is a huge leap. And honestly, the idea from this video came behind the fact that we've been trying to figure out how we can reach financial independence and how long that's going to take us. And oftentimes, every time I do our monthly budget or look at our expenses, I'm reminded of how much more we're spending now than what we were spending as renters, and how much of a greater return we would have from investing the $1,000 as opposed to paying down our mortgage, which, you know, there's pros and cons to both. I'm not really here to debate all of that, although I could and can and probably will, but I'm just here to share our experience now and just to kind of provide apples to apples for what we were spending as renters and what we're now spending as homeowners. So of course you can always go back to look at one of our previous budget videos, and really these numbers are based on what we were paying the last month that we were renters and then what we were paying just last month as homeowners. I wanted them to be as accurate and as current as possible. So as you can see, it's a huge jump. Do I regret the decision? Do we regret the decision? The answer is absolutely not. We really do love being homeowners, and we're still able to pursue financial independence and FIRE, but it is pretty shocking. Again, I'm not here to debate, you know, how we can save money or how we could have did this or how we can do that. Like, you know, we could do our own pest control, or we could not have security or something like that. I'm not here really to debate that. We already knew what our mortgage was going to be. We knew what our phone was going to be, and security and some of these other expenses. We knew that, and we were okay with that. And so that is kind of why we decided to make that decision. But it's important to kind of crunch those numbers and see if you do this, you know, what money are you going to have left over in the month, and are you comfortable with that? We're still comfortable with investing at the rate that we're able to invest. In fact, we've only really started hitting the ground running with investing since this year, but we knew that that was a goal for us, and we knew that we would be comfortable with 20% of our income going towards housing. Also not shown is our annual HOA fee, which is just $200 a month. I say just $200 because that's not a lot compared to what some people are paying, but honestly, we don't have like anything fancy, like a playground or park or anything going on in our neighborhood. So sometimes I am wondering what we're paying $200 for. But like I mentioned before, we're having to buy things that we didn't have to buy as renters. Like, it never even crossed my mind to purchase a step ladder. Why would I need a step ladder? Why would I need a drill? We weren't drilling into the walls at our apartment. Why would I need a lawnmower? Why would I need even half of these things? So that's been a real eye-opener, and I don't have the number for that, but just trust me, it's definitely a pretty penny. And there are some things that you kind of like have to purchase, like, you know, a lawnmower, unless you're gonna pay someone to mow your lawn. And then there are things you don't have to purchase, like some materials for home improvement projects. If what you're working on isn't damaged or causing any problems, if it's just going to be aesthetic, then, you know, some of those projects don't really have to take place. I haven't even mentioned decorating or furnishing the home, but I just like to share with people our experience, our real numbers, and just how we make decisions and why we make the decisions that we do. So again, I just wanted to do an apples to apples comparison of life as renters and life as homeowners, and I just wanted to share that with you guys in the event that it might at least set off a bulb for someone else. That's really the whole point here. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you're a renter, let me know down in the comment section why you're a renter, and if you have any hopes of owning a home, why or why not. If you're a homeowner, let us know some of the pros and cons and some expenses and all of that that you didn't even really think about that much whenever you were renting. That is it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.